I was looking at a receipt from a simple lunch order last week, and something felt off. The sandwich was $10 and the drink was $3, but the total at the bottom was nearly $20. I started looking closer at the lines between the subtotal and the final price. It was not just tax. There were 3 other charges I did not expect to see. One was a service fee, one was a small order fee, the third was a delivery adjustment fee even though I picked the food up myself. This is happening everywhere now. You find a price that looks like a great deal. You decide to buy it. But by the time you reach the final checkout screen or look at the paper receipt, the deal has vanished. Most people are so busy that they just swipe the card and move on. They feel that heavy sense of frustration, but they do not always know exactly where the money went. This is not about $1 or $2. Over a month of shopping and paying bills, these small additions can cost a regular family hundreds of dollars. In this video, we are going to look at 9 checkout fees that make cheap deals expensive. I want to show you exactly where these charges hide and how to spot them before you pay. We are also going to talk about item number 8, which is a new trend in online shopping that might be signing you up for a monthly bill without you even clicking a button. If you are tired of seeing your hard-earned money disappear into thin air, please consider subscribing to Better Deal Daily. We focus on the practical side of spending so you can keep more of what you earn. Let's look at the first place these fees like to hide. Item number 1, the digital service fee. I noticed this first when ordering a pizza through an app. The price on the screen was exactly what I expected, but when I got to the final payment page, a new line appeared called a service fee. This was separate from the delivery fee and separate from the tip. This matters because it changes the value of the meal. You might choose a restaurant because they have a $5 discount, but if the service fee is $6, you are actually paying more than the original price. It is a way for companies to keep their advertised prices low while still making you pay more at the end. Many shoppers assume this fee goes to the workers or covers the cost of the app. In reality, it is often just a way to increase the profit margin on a transaction. It is a charge for the privilege of spending your money with them. I have seen these fees range from $2 all the way up to 15% of the total order. When I checked my own history, I realized I was paying about $40 a month just in these digital fees. That is almost $500 a year for literally nothing. I used to think it was just a normal part of modern life. Now I realize it is a choice I am making. The practical takeaway here is to look at the final total before you authorize the payment. Compare the app price to the price if you called the store directly. Many times the restaurant will give you the lower price if you skip the middleman app. You can often save $5 to $10 just by taking 2 minutes to call. Verdict: compare the total price before you click pay. If the fees are too high, it is okay to cancel the order and look elsewhere. Do not assume the app price is the best deal. Item number 2, the restaurant wellness surcharge. This is a newer trend that is showing up on paper receipts across the country. You finish a nice meal and look at the bill and see a 3 or 4% charge labeled as a wellness fee or a kitchen appreciation fee. It looks like a tip, but it usually is not. This matters because it creates a very awkward situation for the customer. Most of us want to support the staff. But when a fee is forced onto the bill, it makes the meal more expensive than the menu price suggested. It is a hidden price hike that avoids changing the numbers on the menu. I started noticing this more in mid-sized cities. People are often confused about whether they should still tip 20% on top of this fee. Some restaurants use this money to provide insurance for staff, which sounds good. However, it makes the true cost of your dinner very hard to calculate until the bill arrives. I once sat through a dinner where the wellness fee was 5%, and there was also a large party fee for just 4 people. By the time we were done, the extras were almost as much as another entree. This is where the money slips away because we do not want to seem cheap by questioning the bill. The practical takeaway is to scan the bottom of the menu before you sit down. Many restaurants are now required to disclose these fees in small print at the bottom. If you see a surcharge, you should factor that into your total budget for the night. You can also ask the server if that fee goes directly to them as a tip or if it stays with the house. Verdict: check the menu for fine print about surcharges. Adjust your tip accordingly or choose a restaurant with transparent pricing. Small percentages add up to big surprises at the end of the night. Item number 3, the convenience fee for digital tickets. We have all been there when trying to buy a ticket for a movie or a local play. The ticket says it is $15, but after you enter your credit card info, the price jumps to $22. They call it a convenience fee or a processing charge. This matters because there is often nothing convenient about it. In many cases, it is the only way to buy the ticket. You are being charged extra for the company to use an automated system that actually saves them money on labor. It is a way to extract a few more dollars from every single customer because they know you have already committed to the purchase. I noticed this myself when taking my family to a local museum. The online price had a $4 fee per person. For a family of 5, that was an extra $20 just to get the tickets on my phone. When I arrived, I asked the person at the front desk if there was a fee to buy in person. They said no. This is the kind of charge people skip over because they want the security of having a ticket in advance. But for many local events and movie theaters, the convenience fee is totally avoidable. It is a premium price for a service that used to be free. The practical takeaway is to check if there is a box office or a physical location where you can buy tickets. If it is a local event, you can often save 10 to 20% just by buying at the door. For larger events, try to buy directly from the venue website instead of a third-party reseller. Verdict: skip the online convenience fee whenever possible. Buying at the window is a simple way to keep $5 or $10 in your pocket. Do not pay extra for a computer to do the work. Item number 4, the mandatory sustainability fee. Some retail stores and online shops have started adding a small fee for environmental efforts. It might be called a carbon offset or a green initiative fee. It is usually a small amount like 99 cents or a couple of dollars. This matters because these fees are often added by default. The logic is that most people will not notice or will feel too guilty to remove a charge that sounds like it is helping the planet. However, there is often very little transparency about where this money actually goes. It may just be going into the company's general fund to pay for things they should already be doing. I started seeing this on clothing websites and even some grocery delivery services. It is a small charge that does not feel big until you see it on every single receipt. It is a way for a corporation to look responsible using your money instead of their own. When I checked one specific store, I found that the fee was automatically checked during checkout. You had to manually uncheck a box to remove it. This is a classic money trap because it relies on the customer being in a hurry. Most people just want to finish the transaction and do not look at every single line item. The practical takeaway is to look for these small add-ons at the very end of your purchase. If you want to donate to environmental causes, it is usually better to do it directly to a charity you trust. You should not feel obligated to pay a hidden fee at a retail checkout. Verdict: look for pre-checked boxes before you hit the final buy button. You have the right to opt out of any fee that is not a tax or a required shipping cost. It is about paying attention to where every penny goes. Item number 5, the restocking fee. This is a fee that you do not pay when you buy the item, but it makes the deal much more expensive if things do not work out. I am talking about the restocking fee for electronics, furniture, or appliances. It is often hidden deep in the return policy. This matters because it can turn a $300 mistake into a $60 loss. If you buy a TV and realize it is too big for your room, you might take it back expecting a full refund. But many stores will take 10 or 15% off the top as a restocking fee. This means you are paying a huge amount of money just to change your mind. I noticed this when a neighbor bought a laptop that didn't have the right ports. When they took it back, the store kept almost $100. They were shocked because the box was barely opened. The store claimed it was for the cost of inspecting and repackaging the item. This is a hidden cost of shopping at certain big box stores or online tech retailers. It makes the initial low price a bit of a gamble. If you are not 100% sure about a purchase, the potential fee makes that item much more expensive than a store with a free return policy. The practical takeaway is to always ask about the return policy for big-ticket items. Specifically ask if there is a restocking fee if the item is opened. If the answer is yes, you might want to buy from a different store, even if the price is $5 higher. The peace of mind is worth more than the small savings. Verdict: always check the return policy before buying electronics or appliances. A restocking fee can ruin a good deal. Only buy from stores that offer full refunds whenever possible. Item number 6, the small order fee. This fee is common in the world of grocery delivery and fast food apps. If you only need a few items, the company will add a charge for not spending enough. They might say you need to spend $35 to avoid a fee of $5 or $10. This matters because it encourages people to buy things they do not need. You might only need $10 worth of milk and eggs, but to avoid the $5 fee, you end up adding $20 of snacks to your cart. You think you are saving $5, but you are actually spending an extra $15. I have fallen for this myself many times. I would see the little progress bar at the top of the screen saying, I am $5 away from free delivery. I would go find something to buy just to get that fee off the bill. When the food arrived, I realized I didn't even want the extra items. This is a psychological trick that stores use to increase their average order size. They make the fee high enough that it feels like a waste of money. But the real waste is buying products you wouldn't have bought otherwise. This is how the grocery bill creeps up from $50 to $80 without you noticing. The practical takeaway is to do the math. If the fee is $5 and you have to spend $20 more to avoid it, just pay the $5. Or better yet, skip the delivery and go to the store yourself. Buying only what you need is the most effective way to stay on budget. Verdict: do not buy extra items just to avoid a small order fee. It is almost always cheaper to pay the fee than to buy things you do not need. This is a common trap that drains your grocery budget. Item number 7, the shop supplies fee. If you take your car in for an oil change or a simple repair, you might see a line at the bottom for shop supplies. This is often a percentage of the total labor cost. It can be anywhere from $5 to $50 depending on the job. This matters because it is a very vague charge. The shop claims it covers the cost of rags, cleaners, and disposal of fluids. But these are the basic costs of doing business. You wouldn't expect a restaurant to charge you a separate fee for the soap they use to wash the dishes. I started looking at my mechanic receipts and noticed this charge was on every single one. Even for a simple tire rotation where no supplies were used, I was still being charged a shop fee. When I asked about it, the manager said the computer adds it automatically. This tells me it is not based on what was actually used on my car. This is a place where money slips away because most people do not want to argue with a mechanic. We trust them to fix our cars, and we just pay the total. But if you have 5 cars in a family and get them serviced twice a year, those shop fees can add up to hundreds of dollars over time. The practical takeaway is to look at the estimate before the work begins. Ask if the shop supplies fee is included in the quoted price. If it is not, ask them to explain what it covers. Sometimes just asking about it will lead the shop to waive the fee or reduce it. Verdict: question vague charges like shop supplies at the mechanic. These are often automated add-ons that do not reflect actual costs. Be a proactive consumer and ask for an explanation before paying. Item number 8, the automated subscription enrollment. This is the one I mentioned at the beginning of the video. It is becoming very common on websites for vitamins, household goods, and even coffee. When you go to check out, there is a button that says one-time purchase and another that says subscribe and save. This matters because the subscribe and save option is often selected by default. If you are clicking through the screens quickly, you might think you are just getting a 10% discount on today's order. In reality, you are signing up for a recurring monthly charge that will hit your credit card again in 30 days. I noticed this myself when I bought a specific brand of laundry detergent online. I thought I got a great deal. A month later, I saw a charge on my bank statement that I didn't recognize. It turns out I had unintentionally signed up for a monthly delivery. Most people never check their recurring subscriptions until they have paid for 3 or 4 months. The companies make the checkout process very smooth, so you don't realize you are entering a long-term commitment. This is the biggest money drain in the digital age because the charges are small and easy to miss. The practical takeaway is to double-check the purchase type before you click the final buy button. Look for words like monthly, recurring, or auto ship. If you only want the item once, make sure you have selected the one-time purchase option. It is worth taking 5 extra seconds to ensure you aren't adding another bill to your life. Verdict: watch out for pre-selected subscription options at checkout. It is better to pay $1 more for a one-time purchase than to accidentally sign up for a monthly charge. This is where modern companies hide their true costs. Item number 9, the payment processing surcharge. As you go through the checkout at a local shop or even some online stores, you might see a sign that says a 3% fee will be added for credit card use. Or you might see a different price for cash versus credit. This matters because it is a direct way for the merchant to pass their business costs on to you. For years, this was absorbed by the stores, but now it is becoming standard for the customer to pay it. If you spend $100 at a store, that 3% fee is an extra $3 for nothing. I started seeing this at my local hardware store and even at some gas stations. It feels like a small amount, but it is essentially a tax on using your own money. If you use a credit card for every purchase in half of the stores you visit, have this fee, you are losing a significant amount of money every month. I used to think that the rewards from my credit card would cover these fees. But most cards only give you 1 or 2% back. If the store is charging you 3%, you are still losing money on the deal. This is why it is important to pay attention to the signs near the register. The practical takeaway is to keep some cash on hand for small local purchases. If you see a surcharge sign, ask if there is a discount for using a debit card or cash. Many times, you can save that 3% just by changing how you pay. It is a simple way to keep the price exactly what it says on the tag. Verdict: be aware of credit card surcharges at small businesses. Using cash can save you 3% instantly. Do not let hidden payment fees eat away at your budget. When you look at all 9 of these fees together, a clear pattern emerges. Companies are finding ways to separate the price you see from the price you pay. They use small charges, confusing names, and automated systems to make you spend more. This is not about being paranoid. It is about being a smart neighbor who pays attention to where the money goes. You work hard for your income, and you should get exactly what you pay for. Most people only notice these fees when it is too late, but you have the power to stop them at the checkout. The simple action I want you to take today is to look at your last 3 receipts. Look at every single line between the subtotal and the final price. If you see a fee you do not recognize, look it up or ask the business what it was for. This one habit can save you more money than almost any other tip. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to Better Deal Daily. We are building a community of people who care about making smarter, everyday decisions. Please leave a comment and let me know about a fee you recently discovered on a bill or a receipt. It helps all of us stay alert. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video where we will look at more ways to keep your money where it belongs. Stay smart out there.